Okay, so now we're going to talk about Roman numeral 3, which is circles. So I'm going to talk to you about the equation of a circle. So the general equation of a circle would be like x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And that h and the k represents the center. And then the r is the radius of your circle. All right, so the only thing that you're going to be changing would be the h in the problem once you find out the center, and then this number right here. All right, so you're going to be changing that and then simplifying as much as you can. All right, so the nice thing about this, let's take a look at A. It says write the equation of the circle given the center and a point. So if I already know my center is 3, 4, I can already start to write my equation, which would be x minus 3 plus y minus 4 equals, and so now I've notated the center is 3, 4. Now the difference though is, and if we were to think about this, we have a circle, and we've got the center, which is at 3, 4, and then maybe there's a point which is at 6, 8. And so that's what we're given, and so we need to be able to find the radius. Well, that's really easy now that we know the distance formula, or we can regenerate that into a triangle if you wanted to. Doesn't matter to me. And so if this is the point 3, 4, we can quickly see that the distance from 3 to 6 would be 3, and the distance from 4, right, this is y value right here, is 4. And then this y value right here is 8. So the distance, the vertical distance is 4. So we've got a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we've got, if we're doing Pythag, we would want to do this. We would do 3 squared plus 4 squared. C, this is 9 plus 16. So we take the square root of 25, and so we know that c is 5. However, if you're doing the distance formula, you would start with this, subtracting the x's. So we could go 6 minus 3 squared and then subtract the y's. So 8 minus 4 squared. Doing the distance formula is going to give you 3 squared plus 4 squared, which is still going to give you the 9 and the 16. And so we end up here at the same spot. So regardless, we now know that the radius is 5, but in the equation, it's radius squared. So we take our 5 and we need to square that number. So your final answer is going to be x minus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. And this is what you get to box. All right, so you have to pay attention to what it is that you're given. Here it says write the equation of the circle given two endpoints of the diameter. So let's say I have the point, let me back that up here, -2, -2, so maybe that's down here, so -2, -2. And then we have the point 4, 6. So there's two things. I need to be able to find the center. So I have to find the center, which means I'm utilizing the midpoint. So I'm going to have to take the midpoint to find the center. Okay, and then I have to then be able to either find the distance and divide it by 2, or use the midpoint and this another point to find the radius. So we need to somehow use distance to find the radius. Okay. So couple of things. I can go ahead and make this one big triangle and use Pythagorean theorem. So let's say that the origin is like right here. or not the origin, but the y-axis, and the x-axis. So let's pretend it's right here just so you can see. And then what we'll do is I'll make my triangle a different color. So I'll make my triangle blue. So the bottom line is you've got -2 on this side and 4 on this side. So that's going to give you a length of 6, right? You're going from +4 to -2. And then you're going from -2 vertically up and down. So -2 all the way to 6 is going to give you 8. So we've got 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. And then we've got 36 plus 64 is equal to c squared. So 100, and then we end up taking the square root of that. And so we find out that the diameter, remember that this is the diameter, is 10. So if you know that the whole thing is 10, what would that tell you about the radius? Well, we would know that the radius would be half of that. So the radius would equal 5. So now what I have in my equation is everything but the center. So I know my radius is 5, and then I also have to square it. So now let's try and find the center. So I'm looking for the center. I'm trying to find that. So that means we're going to find the midpoint. So we're just going to add up the x's and divide by 2. And then we're going to add up the y's and divide by 2. So over here, it looks like we get 2 over 2, and then we're going to get 4 over 2. So our center looks like it is at 1, 2. So now I can just plug in 1 and 2, and then box my answer.